Alright everyone, welcome back to UFTA, and my latest video is definitely an admission of mistakes and failures and oh, I wouldn't call it setbacks, but it's a little bit frustrating, but it's also very instructive and helpful to work through all these difficult problems. I ran into a snag, and I discovered that even with huge amounts of playtesting, there's still a lot to iron out, or there was a lot to iron out. And it is a little disappointing this late in the game to find something else that might be a little bit amiss. But I figured it out, and I just wanted to present that here, warts and all, right? Because UFTA is not about perfection. UFTA is about colossal failures, making a lot of mistakes, and trying to learn from them, right? Yeah, I don't walk on water. So that's what UFTA is. It's just a lot of trial and error and stick it out. So anyway, what is the issue? What is it that I'm talking about? Well, it just happens to be that there's vulnerabilities late in the game because you become very invested in trying to create those two crop combos in your fields. You know, that's a very critical late game strategy, and that all seems good and well, except that there's too many opportunities in the game for other people to really kind of mess up your chances, right? Because you've got several possibilities that can happen. You know, just the regular adversity cards; those could be played against you, right? The other possibility is somebody rolls a die roll number 2. Die roll number 2 moves everything in the market, right? So immediately, blammo! You know, you've lost your ability to score the 2 crop combo, right? And so I had to figure this out. And there's also one more case where this happens, and that's when you just simply, you've got your tray, and it's time to, let's say you harvested a bunch of stuff, and now it's time to replace everything in the tray. So whatever it is you just harvested, you grab something else. Well, that's another case where everything starts moving in the market, right? And so if that's the case, already you got 3 or 4 circumstances there where your reliance on 2 crop combos to score big is severely hampered. And so I had to think about a solution. Game balance is everything. Harmonious game balance, very difficult to achieve. It might as well be a master class in achieving nirvana or ascension to heaven, whatever you want to call it. Some impossible thing. Meditate your way into oblivion, right? If possible. Well, I'm certainly not on that karmata. I'm not at that level. And so, because I'm a human being that makes a bunch of mistakes, I didn't really think of this. I couldn't think of it without some thorough playtesting, and even late as this. So it's a very fortuitous thing for me, because even though this is a very long, drawn-out process, I still managed to find, loopholes. What do you call it? Exceptions to rules, and other just things that are hanging, and it's kind of hard to nail them down. That is, partly that's the nature of the game, right? This is a forever product. It's not meant to be. It's not a one and done. It is a, you might as well play the harp or the oboe or play UFTA, because it's a lifetime of struggle and learning or something. And it's just very hard to just on a moment's notice come up with all the solutions, right? And so this is what we're trying to figure out. My particular solution to this problem is I had to think about it. It just became a logical extension of everything that's already present in the game that makes it fun and engaging. And that just happens to be the use of the marker tokens, right? So, whenever you place the 5 tokens, let's set up the nice example here. you set up your assets, you're doing your normal thing, you're being productive, trying to figure this stuff out, and you're ready to place marker tokens, right? Well, now, with the rollout of this new interesting wrinkle, the idea is you can place 5 marker tokens on any crop to protect it, but that also serves, it's a dual function. It serves 2 purposes. It protects the asset from harm from others, but it also allows for dynamic gameplay, because now it also means whenever something moves in the market, if a particular crop has a marker token placed over the top of it, that means the thing is fixed. It's fixed and rooted, planted in the farmer's market, so that it's never going to move, right? So long as there's marker token protection on top of it, right? So as long as you have marker token protection, you're good to go. I mean, you should feel pretty secure. And that should make sense, right? Because it is a very serious investment on someone's resources. It's a strain on their very limited resources to protect these assets. That's one of the things that if things get out of hand, if your budget gets out of hand, spending gets out of hand, then you're going to have trouble. You're definitely going to have trouble. And that is reflected in OOT. And so that's what we have to consider here. So anyway, now we have marker tokens. The other thing we need to consider is the fact that if the marker tokens are placed on anybody's fields, right, in order to protect the assets, it also means that those items are also protected in the market. Okay, so it's kind of a holistic, it's a global sort of phenomenon. You have to make sure when you're playing, all you have to do is just make sure whenever there are game mechanics that force you to make a move in the market, then it means you simply have to scan really quickly and see whose crops have protection on them, have marker tokens on them, and if once you figure that out, then you can either move the item as the whatever the game mechanics dictate, you do that, or you don't. If it's locked in, it's got the marker token protection on it, it's locked in, and it cannot be moved. Now, there's also one more exception to this stuff. The player who might have crops that they want to move that are theirs, and they have marker tokens on top of their crops, that is the one exception. So it's like, you can manipulate your own items but not other people's. Now, when you have a couple rules like this, there's always one that kind of supersedes the other, right? And so you got to kind of bear this in mind as well. Even though a person can protect their own crops and move their own, if they happen to have marker tokens on them, they still have to look globally. They have to look globally at everything that's going on. And if it happens to be that they share a crop with someone else that does have protection on it, then that overrides this little bit of an exception, right? So even if, let's just say, here, let's set up a pretty simple example. This person has squash. Do you have squash? No. This person has squash, and it also means they can put 5 marker tokens on it. Right? Pretty simple. Okay. Now, once they do that, I have 2 parties that have this kind of the same thing. We each have squash and we each have marker tokens on our assets protecting them. Well, what's going to happen is if I say, I'm over here and I'm like, I rolled a 2. I rolled number 2. Then that means that I can make a change in the market. But first I have to look. I have to look around and see. I want to move my squash up, let's say, 1 spot. And I do it. Well, I look over here and I say, wait a minute, they have marker token protection on there. So already I can't make that decision. I can't move the squash. Now notice how I can make any other move though. It's no problem. Right? The only exception, of course, would be, if I want to move potatoes and radishes in this case, right? I would just scan the field again, make sure. Now notice that neither the potatoes nor the radishes can have marker tokens on them. So that's another thing to bear. If you're going to move two items, there's always there's two parties involved. It's not just the one. So you have to make sure that they both do not have marker tokens on them, and then you can move them. Okay? That sounds kind of confusing as I try to explain this, but if you rewind the tape, just think about it a little while, it's like nothing. Pretty simple concept. So all you got to do is you got this, and let's say this person has potatoes. Yeah, this person has potatoes. So here's my example again. I rolled a number 2. I would simply, as a player, say, I want to move my squash, can't do it. They have marker token protection. Then I look over here. They have potatoes. They don't have protection on their potatoes, right? So all's fair in love and war. And oops, good. And so that's what we do. We just switch everything out, okay? And so this is looking pretty good. I hope those concepts make it clear. Now, so what again does the marker token protection do, besides the obvious function that it protects you from adversities from others? It also protects you from die roll number 6. It protects you from die roll number 2. That's a movement in the market. And, of course, think about this. Remember this lovely item right here? Yeah, it's greenhouse, right? Well, the greenhouse is a spectacularly dynamic card, but now we've reined it in a little bit, and it can no longer do. It no longer has the power that it once had, because now, even if I wish to manipulate things in the market, I still have to holistically, globally scan everything that's going on and just make sure, hey, can I really move something? And the answer is normally yes, but not if they have that marker token protection on. So again, the marker tokens are elevated to yet an even higher status. They serve a dual function protective capability. It's going to protect the asset, but it's also going to keep it locked into the market so that you can weather the storms of market fluctuations, market volatility, or anything like that, right? Some of this should sound familiar if you're from the financial world. These are kind of the things you want to consider. You want to try to minimize, anybody would. You'd want to minimize risk and improve profit margins, productivity, right? I mean, if you can. Sometimes you can't, let's be honest. Life is not usually set up where you can just score and score and score. But anyway, so this is what OOPT is about. It's about protecting those assets. But, the social aspect is also what I really kind of enjoy, which present circumstances being what they are, not favorable. The close social interaction, that's kind of a problem. Not a digitally implemented product, unfortunately. But it could be. It could be for the future, right? And I'm pretty sure they could figure this stuff out. But for the time being, for analog OOPT, we have a wonderful scenario where these marker tokens are going to serve that dual purpose, and gameplay is definitely heightened and increased with a little bit more attention, and interesting decisions, difficult choices to be made. So I think you'll find ultimately this is the right path to go. I will continue playtesting, but it feels pretty solid. And so far it's yielded some very exciting and interesting games. Especially that late game play, where things are, it could be anybody's possibility to win, okay? So I hope you got that clear. I hope it's understandable. And I communicated that effectively. But sometimes, these concepts are difficult. Sometimes they're easy. This one's probably medium range. So anyway, thank you very much for everyone out there for checking this out. Very grateful. And grateful again to the print and play people who helped me out with this board. And of course everyone whose thoughts and opinions and ideas made this thing what it is. It's very impressive. I certainly couldn't do it alone, so thank you once again. And hopefully this product will be available for everyone. And when times get better, I hope to play some Oopta. All right, thank you very much. Have a good day.